Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No.
I don't know anymore.
Hifumi was dead.
And you know that? Surely you heard the body discovery
Announced Hifumi's dead body had been found.
And that is why the
Are we really? So maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I'm gonna try it again.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually...
No.
But wait, you guys are making all these puns, right? But you're saying it's their favorite. Why would it be their favorite if that's how they were killed? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't it, though?
It is impossible. Hifumi was dead. And you know that how? Surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along with the rest of Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why
maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Third time's a charm. What if I'm wrong, though?
It's actually...
No. It is Hifumi was dead.
And you know that
surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along with Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No!
And that is why
maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
I missed
discovery.
that, too!
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was at... No. Hifumi was dead. And you know that? Surely you heard the body discovery of Hifumi's dead body. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal
Damn
someone
it!
else's
discovery. Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was at...
No.
No.
It is impossible. Hifumi was dead. Without it.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Yes! Yes! God!
Was the body discovery announcement that was made
Wait, finish, please.
really intended for Hifumi?
Thank you. I will now save. The puns are getting to me. But I don't want to use concentrate until I really have to.
Of course it was. The announcement played right
It was just my
after we
timing. My
discovered
timing was
his body.
terrible.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two
But there was a
announcements.
delayed one.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time.
It does regenerate.
Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. And the second time was when...
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Ding dong! A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin!
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually
alive!
Being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Emphasis on the word dead,
And
huh,
that's
Sakura?
just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Oh my.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of
Ooh,
his
I've
body.
got this.
Then it should become clear whether he was really alive
I
or
got
not.
it.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Then, was he really still alive?
Of course not. It is impossible. This is ridiculous.
When Hifumi's body was found in the nurse's office and when it was found again in the repository, there's definitely some sort of conflict there.
Well, here's one thing to do. The first time we found Hifumi's body, then his body disappeared.
And the next time, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Boom, baby!
No, that's wrong!
Someone who isn't paying attention to the game might use up the 15 minutes.
There was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository,
his glasses were clean.
They were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
The evidence I found in the trash can in the nurse's office was...
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera.
But not only that, as somebody who wears glasses myself, if something like this were to happen, I don't see somebody else cleaning his glasses for him. Like, oh, let me get that blood for you, buddy. I know you're dead, but let me get the blood off your glass. I just don't see that happening. So if it's your own glasses, though, you'd be like, I can't see. Like right now, I can't see it. Clean my glasses.
Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
Good job.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses?
Tell them, Naegi!
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be
Welcome
dead,
back.
what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
That's nasty.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an...
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's body was... Taka himself!
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door
Same,
was locked.
I was there too.
And the repository door can only be locked from the
I
inside.
tried opening the door too.
Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository.
Okay, Bao. Good night. Thanks for watching.
So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Show me the evidence.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka. Could it be? Could it be?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't
I love
you?
how Kyoko's also like, tell them, Naegi. Oh, I need a sneeze. I think. Maybe not.
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
What the hell, Sakura? That sounded strange. Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it
Sorry,
said,
Dis.
Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at
The
1
sneeze
a.m.
went away.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have
Me! Hifumi's pants.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Tuffy! just to be clear, Tick-Tock is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary. But still, I can't let her get to me. I love this song. Dance to this in the club. Oh god! Okay, let's see.
Huffy had the note, right?
Huffy. Tick-Tock.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't
Yeah, it
matter.
does.
The note has nothing to do with Tick-Tock!
No, that's wrong. No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Gotta save my game. Just in case.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka. Well, Taka had the ripped piece in his hand.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of
Don't
paper.
lie! Kyoko found that out and told you to get it. What do you mean when you searched? Lies.
If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is...
Ding dong, you were wrong, Naegi.
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Tell them, Naegi.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa! Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
Shut down.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
I still think...
So then, who killed
Oh, never mind, I
Hifumi?
can't.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
I was gonna say that Naegi is the ultimate sass master, but I think the ultimate sass master is actually Dangan Ronpa 2's protagonist, so I'll leave it at that.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
But me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Really?
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi!
Well, you may want to go now, Nom, before you miss even better stuff later. It's probably better to go now.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow, I have to find the truth. Time to jam again.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No, that's wrong!
Justice Hammer 65, obviously.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones.
Some as big as your head.
And even some flat mallet-like
You ruined
ones.
it, Naegi.
I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
This is the murder weapon.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together
Read
with
my
them.
mind now.
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least, that's what we thought at first, but... so many people wanted to say it. Big one, small one, some as big as your head. Nishi, no!
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Ah! Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this? Go back to that last clue.
Based on the rules that even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible. That is
how the rule was.
But that only really applies if there's one murder. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person is complicit, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate, assuming the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong!
Got you, Celeste. You're wrong!
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders.
Why are you sweaty, Nagi?
Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
But that's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us that two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this. Wow, is it compliment Kyoko hour?
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Select someone? Oh man.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brain-fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
I hope you're ready for Celeste's amazing voice acting.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common?
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow! Something moving around at the top of the stairs!
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Oops.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him! The strange costume man! He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
True. Then why don't we split up into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
Dohya! Oh, that's too bad. I think the Japanese one, she goes, Dohya!
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything The whole thing was one big act!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he alluding to? You mean you don't know? Ah! Nike.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Just stealing all the comments. When she said that, she should have only known about Hifumi's death. With that in mind, what's so strange about what she said is...
All I said was we must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around.
They must be positively. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those.
No!
How strange, Celeste?
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste?
Whoa.
How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Konnichiwa.
It has to be some kind of setup,
Super
right?
invisible text.
So let's put the suit on. And Then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is they'd been drinking, they'd been dancing.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh shit! Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Then shut your mouth and let me educate you.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Nope,
Then
too
the
late.
fortune-telling idiot is the culprit
I was
after
gonna
all!
try, but...
No way!
I like how Monokuma's just laughing, just for no reason. If I remember right, Hina said... She said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after
I passed out!
Then you just draped me across...
Hifumi and had
You tried to make me look like the bad
bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious...
Ah! I didn't do that right? Hold on. Let me think about this. What other...
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then
You just draped me across Hifumi
You tried
to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing if the person inside the suit was unconscious.
Messing this up. Okay. Hold on.
You dressed me up in that
I'm
suit
trying to
after
say
I
that the
passed
costume...
out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi
And had him
carry my...
The
You tried
costume
to make me look like the
stands
bad...
up, so that way he couldn't fall over. You know what I'm trying to say.
Like I
mean,
said,
he couldn't fall over.
ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright.
Yeah.
If the person inside the suit, there's
Oh!
no way they could stand up straight. Like that.
No, that's wrong! No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi! Who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear.
How is your voice so high-pitched?
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said for serious a lot. He gave everyone nicknames. He said people's last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Nayagi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
No spoilers, please. Even if you're vague, no spoilers.
Anyone here?
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
True, Celeste.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Flippin', I love that line.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up. So then, I have to do something to make her accept it.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
No, that's wrong! That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it! When you start it up, it'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check our handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen!
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Okay. Oops, I meant this. Wait. So then, what have I got to choose from? So it was 1 a.m. and then they met Hagakure. What? Why would that even be here? Stop it. That's too much. Hagakure. And then picture. And then it was... Oh, I guess I'm selecting his wristwatch. So it was 6 o'clock. And oh... And then this happened. Oh, I gotta put the number of hands. Shit! He was killed with 3. Does that say Hummer? That says Hummer and not Hammer. I'm concerned. Why does it say Hummer? It says Hummer. Why? And then he got Justice Hammer 2 when we found him. And then he did that, and then what goes here? Hold on. This is where he pushed the thing, and then that last one is this one. So then chips, a backpack. What? I guess this? Huh? So, okay, so yes, that happened. And then blah blah blah, pictures, blah, looks at wristwatch, blah blah blah, this happened. Oh, I still... Wait. Was... Why would I thought this was grayed out. And then I think 4 was there? Oh god. So when we first found him, I think it was 2. Because then... It doesn't give a description. The description's only in the second game, is it not? Oh, click on the question mark. Sorry, I missed that you said that. The backpack Justice Hammer, that one. I think. Right? Because then he was killed with 3 and he was... No, he just set it up that way, but... I'm trying to think of the hammer numbers now and if I have them right. Because I could have sworn... Ah! Let's try that again. He's clearly in this picture using number 4. So number 4. Then number 3, I think so.
The killer is you!
Hopefully I'm right.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Damn it.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes.
That's right, that's what I was trying to remember.
So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But... while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood pack from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turn the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
me. Just kidding. She looks really pretty there.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Ooh, nice choice of words.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
I, Celestia Ludenberg.
Actually, no. Taeko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taeko?
You finally accepted it.
She just said Taeko, and then Naigi's gonna go Taeko? Ugh.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
How did I do? I still got an A? Yay! Score!
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Actually, I only made a few mistakes. I was pretty on spot for most of the trials, so I guess it's okay. Not as shocking if you really think about it. Only towards the end I flubbed once or twice. 3 times, 4 times, about 60 times altogether.
What?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg! Or more precisely, Taeko Yasuhiro!
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I
So
knew
you
it.
really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure he relied on her I'm sure he relied on her specialty. Lying speciality. I'm Tokami and I say speciality. My specialty. Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So
then did you use, you know... I don't know if I should use a French accent right now or not. Or, you know, her weird accent thing. I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice. I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but... it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad.
In other words...
then you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I
You used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it'd disappear, I paid Hifumi a little visit. Oh no, this part? When you learn stuff about this case, it gets even more depressing than it already is. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are you
It was
okay
Taka.
with this?
He stole it. What?
So
And
then...
I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the... No. As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the pictures as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her! You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As
Please
for
forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did? He
As for
came to my
me-
room last night unannounced, and then... it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
Oh my god, this breaks my heart every time. And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. That's a crime! An absolute crime! I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but... I never imagined he would go that far! It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him!
Unforgivable!
I'm going to fucking kill him!
Most
Wait, please!
unfortunate.
If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Taka's
Actually-
planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka's going to try to kill you. What? And
Indeed.
also he can keep her to himself. That bastard!
This...
Bastard!
Honestly,
Can we allow him continue? That's not a proper sentence. Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? More like poor Ishimaru. I mean, I feel sorry for Yamada as well, but she basically played the rape card to get him to murder Ishimaru. Like...
I swear I will save her!
I have to save her! Thank
Actually-
you. Yeah, he had nothing to do with this. She just used him because they were having a little rivalry over alter ego. Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I've come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem.
You disgust me. I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So, why'd you decide to make me the suspect?
Because you're stupid.
That's it?
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though.
I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you would actually let him live?
I think she might have broken the fourth wall there. That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that and he believed it.
It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical.
I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So you had planned to kill him all along.
But of course. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. What the heck? How can human life mean so little to you? Well, that's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be
Now
mean.
you sound like Byakuya.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But all along you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little
Obviously,
bitch.
that was a lie!
Oh, sorry, he just did that.
I couldn't take it! I hated it from day one! More than anyone else in here! I wanted to get out! Every day was fresh torture! And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is
Because
fine.
I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to take a metaphorical killing.
As for
And
me,
it was all for that dream.
And what was this dream of yours?
isn't
To
it
live in a
wonderful?
European castle.
A castle?
And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, not abstained, but once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was only my dream. My only dream. I can't read. My only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you
That's
understand?
all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, How can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious.
And that's why you're not scared?
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
You just get executed again.
She's laughing herself.
Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
You all done? Okay, then let's get rolling. The black and disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What? This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again, in another life.
Welcome back, Remix. As if it wasn't enough to burn her alive, he had to run her over with a fire truck.
It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. For him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided.
Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
Aw, bye, Biz. God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste? So, what's the deal with that? Huh? What's the matter?
So
I'll
then,
answer your question if you answer mine.
You...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
What?
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Wow! Oh man, oh jeez! Oh man, oh jeez! What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea! I don't know anything about it!
What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean?
Okay, things are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here. Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but... what's that key that Celeste gave you?
So...
Most likely. It's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. Huh? What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey.
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey.
Oh my, you guys, wow.
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
So...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well,
Then it's up to you now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay?
Huh? So, Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go... together? Does that mean what I think it means? Good luck, Makoto! Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone.
I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall
Even
we go?
Asahina ships it. Well, shall we?
Yeah.
So then...
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's safe, thank goodness. I'd never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart.
I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer.
So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident's concerned, sure, but concerned. Can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. What are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
You...
Is that what you wanted to come here with? Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. Alter ego is... You remember that laptop that wasn't working in the library? Chihiro made it work while Chihiro was still alive, and it used the program that he'd created onto the computer, which is what alter ego is, pretty much. It's his program that he created originally. So yeah, he put it on the computer, so now it's trying to help them figure out. It found a bunch of files on alter ego. I mean, found a bunch of files about the school, but they're heavily decrypted, so alter ego's trying to what do you call it? Decrypt them now. Heavily encrypted, not decrypted. Sorry. I understand.
It's
then
true.
Maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's
fine, I'll tell you. They're like having a heart-to-heart, and you guys are still making puns. I can't believe this. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... No problem, Nom, since nobody else wanted to help. What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she'd told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor on it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Oh my god, this part glitched on me. I think when I played the Japanese version, it was really bad. Good, it's working. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kyoko told me about, could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet. And suddenly, as if I were being yanked in... Gashunk! At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet. And way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. Okay, I wasn't talking about that, but okay. There's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry? This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand. But before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kinda weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before. but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What do I know? What don't I know? I... A strange sound rang out through my head. It felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty? Gone. It's all gone! The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room. Get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow, I made it back to the first floor of the school. Ugh. The farther I walked, the more I felt. Why are you saying that out loud? Are you sure that wasn't supposed to be a thought? Things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... Huh? As if from a vast distance, I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. That sound. It's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more.
Sakura butt.
Before me there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible.
I like the words for the noises too. They're awesome.
No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be? The mastermind spy is...
Dun dun dun.
Seven students left. We've really come a far way down from, what was it, 15?
You received the Super Robo Justice present.